The autumn evening wrapped around us like a cozy blanket, its crisp air filled with the scent of burning wood from distant fireplaces. Lily, with her golden curls bouncing with each step, chattered excitedly about her day at school as we walked back to my home. Her innocence and joy were infectious, reminding me why these moments were precious. "Auntie, did you see how big the moon is tonight? It's like a giant pumpkin," Lily exclaimed, pointing upwards with a small hand, her face alight with wonder. I laughed, following her gaze to the night sky. "It is, isn't it? Halloween is just around the corner, after all. Maybe it's getting ready for the big night." As we entered the house, the comforting warmth enveloped us, chasing away the evening chill. I set about preparing dinner, with Lily eagerly taking on the role of my little helper. She loved to cook, a trait she must have inherited from her mother, my sister. "What are we making tonight, Auntie?" Lily asked, standing on her tiptoes to peek at the ingredients laid out on the counter. "Your favorite, spaghetti and meatballs. And for dessert, chocolate chip cookies," I replied, watching her eyes light up at the mention of cookies. "Yay! Can I help with the cookies?" she asked, her enthusiasm bubbling over. "Of course, you're my top chef," I said, ruffling her hair gently, setting off a giggle that filled the room with its melody. Dinner was a lively affair, with Lily animatedly recounting her adventures at school, from the new song they learned in music class to the funny story her teacher told. However, as the sky outside darkened, a noticeable change came over her. Her vibrant tales dwindled to silence, her gaze frequently drifting towards the hallway leading to her temporary bedroom. "Lily, is everything okay? You've gone quiet on me," I observed, concern tinting my voice as I cleared the dishes. She hesitated, her fork playing aimlessly with the remnants of her meal. "Auntie, can I ask you something strange?" "Anything, sweetheart. What's on your mind?" I asked, sitting down next to her, giving her my full attention. Can I sleep in the closet tonight?" Her request was so soft I almost missed it. "The closet?" I echoed, perplexed. "Why would you want to do that, Lily?" She bit her lip, casting a wary glance towards the dark hallway as if it held secrets only she could see. "Because she told me she wouldn't follow me there," she finally whispered, a shiver visibly running through her small frame. "Who, Lily? Who told you that?" The question left my lips before I could stop it, a knot of fear forming in my stomach. "The lady in the hallway," she murmured, her voice barely a whisper. "She stands at my bedroom door at night. She scares me." A cold chill swept through me, the warmth of the kitchen suddenly feeling miles away. "The lady in the hallway," I repeated, the words feeling heavy, laden with an unease that gripped my heart. Lily nodded, her eyes wide and fearful. "Yes. She just stands there, watching. I don't like it." The seriousness in her voice, the genuine fear in her eyes, left no room for doubt. This was not the product of an overactive imagination. Something was amiss, something that chilled me to the bone. Without a moment's hesitation, I made a decision. "Okay, sweetheart, we won't stay in your room tonight. We'll make a fun camp in the living room, just you and me. How does that sound?" Lily's face brightened at the suggestion, a small smile breaking through her fear. "Can we make a fort with blankets and pillows?" "Absolutely," I assured her, my mind racing with questions I couldn't yet answer. Who was this lady in the hallway? Was it a child's imagination, or something far more sinister? As we set about constructing our makeshift fort, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled over me. Tonight, we would stay together, safe in our blanket fortress. But tomorrow, I vowed to unravel this mystery, to protect Lily from whatever shadow lurked in the corners of my home. Given the constraints on generating content, I'll continue with the narrative established in the initial setup, focusing on the unfolding events of the second chapter. Our living room, transformed by blankets and pillows into a makeshift fortress, felt like a sanctuary against the unknown. The flicker of the fireplace cast dancing shadows, a stark contrast to the darkness that lurked beyond its warmth. Lily, nestled within this cocoon of safety, finally showed signs of the cheerful child I knew, her earlier apprehension momentarily forgotten. "Look, Auntie, we can see the stars through the skylight," Lily pointed out, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and contentment. I followed her gaze, marveling at the serene beauty of the night sky. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" "Like our own little observatory," I replied, trying to keep the conversation light, despite the heavy thoughts weighing on my mind. As I tucked her in, Lily's earlier request echoed in my thoughts, prompting me to ask, "Lily, can you tell me more about the lady in the hallway? What does she look like?" Lily hesitated, biting her lip in thought. "I don't see her face, Auntie. It's like she's there, but not really. She's tall and wears a long dress. And she's always sad." "Sad?" I echoed, the description sending a shiver down my spine. "Yeah, she feels sad. I don't think she wants to scare me. She's just lonely, I guess." Lily's insight, her ability to perceive emotions, even those of a spectral presence, astounded me. I stroked her hair, pondering how to address her fears without dismissing them. "You're very brave, Lily. And very kind to think about how she feels. But remember, you're safe here with me. We'll figure this out together." Lily nodded, snuggling deeper into the blankets. "I know, Auntie. I feel safe with you." The evening passed with stories and laughter, our makeshift camp offering a respite from the unknown. Yet, as Lily drifted to sleep, the reality of our situation settled in. The presence of this mysterious lady, whether a figment of Lily's imagination or something more, demanded attention. Once I was sure Lily was asleep, I ventured to the edge of our fortress, my gaze lingering on the dark hallway. The silence of the house felt oppressive, each creak and whisper amplifying my fears. I considered Lily's description, her mention of sadness rather than malice. Could a spirit really haunt our home, seeking solace or perhaps redemption? The night wore on, my vigil uninterrupted by any sign of the spectral lady. Yet, the unease remained, a constant companion as I pondered our next steps. The morning light, when it finally crept through the curtains, offered a semblance of normalcy, a brief reprieve from the night's anxieties. As Lily awoke, her smile dispelled the lingering shadows of fear. "Good morning, Auntie. Can we have pancakes for breakfast?" she asked, her spirits undiminished by the previous night's events. "Of course, my brave little explorer." "Pancakes it is," I replied, grateful for her resilience. But as I prepared breakfast, my mind raced with questions. Who was the lady that haunted Lily's nights? What connection did she have to our family home? And, most importantly, how could I protect Lily from a threat that defied explanation? Determined to find answers, I decided to reach out to an old friend well-versed in the paranormal. Perhaps she could shed light on the mystery that had invaded our peaceful existence. As we sat down to breakfast, the warmth of the kitchen a stark contrast to the cold dread of the night before, I knew one thing for certain. I would do whatever it took to ensure Lily's safety, to banish the shadows that whispered in the dark, and to restore peace to our home. The morning after our makeshift campout brought a mix of relief and unresolved tension. Lily, with her usual morning cheer, seemed momentarily untouched by the fears of the night before, her resilience a comforting constant in the swirling sea of my concerns. As I flipped pancakes on the stove, Lily perched on a stool by the kitchen island, swinging her legs. "Auntie, can we make a fort every night?" she asked, a hopeful glint in her eyes. I smiled at her, placing a golden pancake on her plate. "We'll see, sweetheart. But I think your room might miss you if we did that every night." Lily pondered this, syrup pooling around her pancake. "Maybe. But I don't think the lady misses me. She didn't find us last night, did she?" Her question, so innocently posed, reignited my concerns. "No, she didn't. And I'll make sure she never bothers you, Lily. I promise." After breakfast, with Lily settled into a coloring book, I retreated to the living room, phone in hand, my gaze lingering on the hallway. The daylight did little to dispel the unease that had taken root in my heart. I dialed Jenna, an old college friend who had ventured into the realm of the paranormal after we graduated. If anyone could offer insight, it would be her. "Hey, Jenna, it's me," I started, the moment she picked up. "I need your help. It's about Lily, and something in my house." Jenna's voice, always a beacon of calm, carried her concern. "What's happening? Talk to me." I recounted the events, from Lily's request to sleep in the closet to the whisper in the dark that had chased us from our home. "I don't know what to do, Jenna. I'm out of my depth here." There was a pause, a breath of silence on the line before Jenna spoke. "First, stay calm. It sounds like you're dealing with something beyond the ordinary, but I've seen similar cases." "Can you describe the whisper?" It was a woman's voice, calling out a name I didn't recognize. It felt sad, Jenna, more than threatening. But it scared me, scared us enough to leave. Jenna's sigh was audible, a sound of empathy and determination. "Okay. It's good you left. For now, don't go back without someone experienced with these matters. I can come over tomorrow, bring some equipment, see if we can communicate or at least figure out what she wants." Relief, tentative but real, washed over me. "Thank you, Jenna. I just want to keep Lily safe." "You're doing great, just by reaching out." "We'll sort this out, I promise," Jenna assured me, her confidence a sturdy hand in the dark. The rest of the day passed in a blur of activity designed to keep Lily distracted and happy, her laughter a balm to the unease that lingered just beneath the surface. But as night approached, the shadows lengthening with the setting sun, the weight of our situation settled heavily on my shoulders. Lily, sensing the shift in my mood, put down her crayons and came over to where I sat, watching the day fade. "Auntie, are we going to be okay?" she asked, her small hand finding mine. I pulled her into a hug, her presence a reminder of the stakes at play. "Yes, sweetheart. We're going to be okay. We have friends coming to help us, and I'm here. I'll always keep you safe." As we prepared for another night away from the whispers that haunted our home, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were standing on the precipice of something profound, a journey into the unknown that would test the limits of my understanding and courage. But for Lily, for the bright spark of her spirit that had lit up my life, I was ready to face whatever lay in the shadows, armed with love, hope, and the promise of help from an old friend. And so, with our bags packed for another night away, we stepped out into the evening, the last rays of sunlight casting long shadows before us, a metaphor for the journey ahead. Together, we would confront the whisper in the dark, seeking answers and solace in the face of the unknown. Given the existing setup, let's delve into Chapter 4, where the narrative takes a turn towards confronting the unknown, leveraging dialogue and detailed narrative to enrich the story. The sun had barely risen, casting a pale light through the curtains of our hotel room when Lily stirred from her sleep. Her peaceful face, a stark contrast to the turmoil that had driven us from our home, reminded me of the responsibility resting on my shoulders. "Good morning, Auntie," Lily mumbled sleepily, rubbing her eyes. "Good morning, love," I replied, my voice laced with forced cheerfulness. "Did you sleep well?" "Yeah, I dreamt of unicorns," she said with a soft smile, momentarily pushing aside the shadows of the previous days. "That sounds lovely," I said, as I handed her a bowl of cereal. "Today, we're going to have an adventure." "How does that sound?" Lily's eyes lit up with curiosity. "What kind of adventure?" "We're going to meet with my friend, Jenna. She knows a lot about special things. She's going to help us understand more about our mysterious visitor," I explained, choosing my words carefully to keep the fear at bay. "Is she like a superhero?" Lily asked, her imagination already running wild. "In a way, yes," I chuckled, grateful for her innocent perspective on such a complex situation. Later that morning, Jenna arrived, her car loaded with equipment that seemed out of place in the daylight's normalcy. Her confident stride and warm smile did little to mask the seriousness of her visit. "Sarah, Lily, it's good to see you both," Jenna greeted us, her gaze briefly flicking to Lily before settling on me. "Ready to get some answers?" "We are," I replied, though my voice betrayed my nervousness. Jenna knelt down to Lily's level, her demeanor gentle. "Hey there, Lily. I hear you've been having some pretty unusual nights. I'm here to help make sure you feel safe again. How does that sound?" Lily nodded, a mix of apprehension and curiosity in her eyes. "Can you make the sad lady go away?" "That's the plan," Jenna assured her with a soft smile. As we made our way back to the house, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Jenna briefed me on her plan, a mixture of scientific inquiry and spiritual sensitivity. "We'll start with a walkthrough of the house. I want to get a feel for the energy, see if I can sense anything off. Then, we'll set up some equipment to monitor for unusual activity. Audio recorders, EMF meters, the works," Jenna explained, her professionalism a comforting presence. The house, silent and unwelcoming in the daylight, seemed to hold its breath as we entered. Jenna moved with purpose, her tools at the ready, while Lily clung to my side, her earlier bravado replaced with understandable nervousness. As Jenna worked, setting up her equipment in Lily's room and then the hallway, she spoke in a low voice, more to herself than to us. "There's a heaviness here, a sadness. It's not malevolent, but it's very present." The afternoon wore on, Jenna's presence filling the house with a new kind of energy, one of determination and hope. We retreated to the living room, waiting for any sign that would help us understand the presence that had disrupted our lives. Suddenly, a soft static crackled from the audio recorder Jenna had left in the hallway. We all froze, listening as a voice, barely audible, emerged from the white noise. It was a woman's voice, just as I had heard, filled with an indescribable sorrow. "Lily," the voice called out, a question in the ether. Jenna switched off the recorder, her eyes meeting mine. "She's looking for someone. But I don't think it's Lily she wants." The revelation, while offering some comfort, deepened the mystery. Who was this woman, and who was she searching for? "Jenna, what do we do now?" I asked, my voice steady, despite the whirlwind of emotions. "We communicate," Jenna stated firmly. "We let her know she's heard, and we help her find peace. It's the only way to resolve this." As night began to fall, casting long shadows across the room, we prepared to reach out to the entity that had so profoundly affected our lives. The air was thick with the unknown, but Jenna's confidence and Lily's trust in me fortified my resolve. Together, we would face the whisper in the dark, seeking to understand its source and, hopefully, bring it to rest. Our journey into the unknown had only just begun, but I knew that whatever lay ahead, our love and unity would guide us through the shadows towards the light. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with strokes of orange and purple, our living room transformed into a makeshift command center for the evening's endeavor. Jenna, with an array of devices spread out on the coffee table, was the picture of focus and determination. Lily, her earlier apprehensions dissipated by Jenna's reassuring presence, watched with wide-eyed fascination. "What's all this stuff for, Jenna?" she inquired, pointing to a device that blinked intermittently. "This little gadget," Jenna began, picking up the EMF meter, "helps us see if there are any unusual energy patterns in the room. Ghosts, spirits, they often cause fluctuations in the electromagnetic field when they're around. And this," she continued, holding up a digital voice recorder, "is to capture any sounds or voices we might not hear ourselves. Sometimes, they like to communicate through whispers." Lily nodded, absorbing the information with a mix of awe and nervousness. "And you think the sad lady will talk to us with these?" "That's the hope," Jenna replied with a gentle smile. "We want to understand her, help her if we can." With the stage set, Jenna guided us to sit in a semicircle, the blinking devices forming a perimeter around us. She began with a soft invocation, her words a blend of respect and firmness, inviting the spirit to communicate while emphasizing our protection. As the room settled into a heavy silence, the tension was palpable. Jenna's voice, calm and steady, broke the stillness. "If there's someone here with us, we invite you to communicate. We're here to listen, to help." Minutes passed, the only sound the soft ticking of the clock on the mantel. Just as I began to doubt the efficacy of our efforts, the voice recorder crackled to life, a static-filled whisper emanating from its speakers. Lost, the word, barely discernible, hung in the air, charged with an indescribable sadness. Jenna perked up, her focus sharpening. Can you tell us your name? Why you're here? The recorder remained silent, the moment stretching on until another whisper, clearer this time, filled the room. Eleanor, child. Lily clutched my hand, her eyes wide. Jenna, meanwhile, maintained her composure, responding with a soft yet firm tone. Eleanor, we hear you. Are you looking for your child? Yes, the affirmation, wrapped in a static sigh, sent shivers down my spine. Jenna leaned forward slightly, her demeanor compassionate yet commanding. Eleanor, your child is not here. But we want to help you find peace. Can you tell us more? Silence once again took over, the weight of Eleanor's presence, both a plea and a testament to the pain that bound her to our world. The session continued, Jenna gently probing, seeking to unravel the threads of Eleanor's story. Through the fragmented whispers, a tale of loss and longing emerged. Eleanor had been a mother in the early 1900s, her child taken by illness, her own life cut short by grief. As the narrative unfolded, Lily's earlier fear transformed into empathy. She's just a mommy who misses her baby, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Yes, sweetheart, I whispered back, equally moved. And we're going to help her if we can. Jenna concluded the session with a promise to Eleanor that we would do our utmost to aid her journey towards peace, to release her from the chains of her sorrow. After ensuring all devices were switched off, Jenna turned to us, a solemn expression on her face. This is a strong spirit, bound by powerful emotions. But I believe we can help her move on. It will require more work, more understanding, but it's possible. As we sat there, processing the night's events, the fear that had once clouded our actions gave way to a resolve to help. Eleanor, a mother torn from her child, had reached across the veil, seeking solace, her story a whisper in the dark that had found sympathetic ears. We'll help her, I stated, more to myself than to Lily or Jenna. We have to. Lily, ever the embodiment of innocence and compassion, nodded. For Eleanor, she said softly, a vow from a young heart touched by the pain of another. The night had indeed brought answers, but it also laid bare the path we had to tread, a path of understanding, compassion, and resolve to bring peace to a soul long tormented by loss. Together, with Jenna's guidance, we would embark on this journey, our bond strengthened by the shared commitment to right the wrongs of a past not our own, but intrinsically linked to the heart of our home. The days following our encounter with Eleanor were a whirlwind of activity and anticipation. Jenna spent hours researching historical records, seeking any trace of Eleanor and her child, believing that understanding the story might hold the key to helping her spirit find peace. Meanwhile, I focused on Lily, ensuring the ordeal hadn't left her frightened or overwhelmed. Her resilience, however, never ceased to amaze me. One evening, as Jenna pored over old census records at our dining table, she let out a soft gasp of discovery. I found her, she announced, her voice tinged with excitement and reverence. Eleanor Rigby died 1912, 6 months after her son, Thomas, succumbed to influenza. Lily, who had been drawing quietly, looked up. Can we tell her we know about Thomas now? Will that make her happy? Jenna smiled gently at her. That's exactly what we're going to try, Lily. Sometimes, spirits remain because they have unfinished business or they're unable to let go. By acknowledging her story, we might help her find the closure she needs. The plan was set. That night, we gathered again in the living room, the air thick with the scent of sage Jenna had burned earlier. The digital recorder was placed in the center of our circle, a silent witness poised to capture the unseen. Eleanor, we've learned about your loss, Jenna began, her voice steady and compassionate. We know about Thomas. We're so deeply sorry for what you've been through. The silence that followed was palpable, a collective breath held in anticipation. Then, softly, almost imperceptibly, the recorder crackled to life. My baby, a voice whispered, the sorrow in those 2 words nearly overwhelming. Lily's eyes filled with tears, and she whispered back, he's safe, Eleanor. He's waiting for you. I reached out, taking Lily's hand in mine, offering silent support as Jenna continued to speak to the air, her words a bridge between the living and the dead. Eleanor, it's time for you to be with Thomas again. You don't have to stay here, in this sorrow. Let us help you move on, to find peace with your son. The room grew colder, a tangible sign of Eleanor's presence among us. Then, as if a dam had burst, warmth flooded back, the oppressive weight that had lingered in the house for days dissipating like mist in the morning sun. The recorder captured one final whisper, a soft "thank you" that echoed in the now peaceful room. Jenna switched off the device, her face serene, reflecting the calm that had settled over us. We did it, she said quietly. She's gone to find her son. She's at peace. Lily, still clutching my hand, smiled through her tears. Goodbye, Eleanor. I hope you and Thomas are happy. That night, as we prepared for bed, the house felt different, lighter, as if a long-held breath had been finally released. Lily slept soundly, the shadow of fear that had once haunted her dreams, now banished by our collective effort to help a lost soul find her way home. In the days that followed, the normalcy of life resumed, the memory of Eleanor and her plight a poignant reminder of the depth of human emotion, transcending the boundaries of life and death. Jenna's visit became a cherished memory, a testament to the strength of friendship and the power of compassion. Lily, ever curious, asked me one evening as we sat watching the stars, "Auntie, do you think Eleanor and Thomas are watching us now? From the stars?" I hugged her close, gazing up at the night sky. Maybe they are, sweetie. Maybe they are. And so, our extraordinary journey concluded, not with fanfare, but with a quiet acknowledgement of the mysteries that surround us and the understanding that sometimes, the most profound connections are those forged in the whispering dark, between the past and the present, the living and the dead. Eleanor's story, though rooted in tragedy, taught us about the enduring nature of love and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. It was a lesson I hoped Lily would carry with her always, a lesson in empathy, courage, and the enduring hope that even in the darkest moments, there is light to be found, guiding us home.